In 79 AD, Pompeii vanished. Millions of tons of volcanic ash descended in a matter of hours, sealing the streets, the homes, and the people in total darkness. For over 1,000 years, the city existed only as a local rumor. Farmers in the region pointed to the empty, overgrown terrain and called it La Civita, the settlement. But there were no visible ruins to prove a city actually lay beneath their feet. In 1507, a German librarian named Conrad Celtis was organizing a bookshelf when he found a parchment copy of a road map drawn by Roman surveyors. On the map, Celtis found a label for Pompeii, documenting the city as a physical reality. But a name on a map of the Roman Empire doesn't help you find it buried under 20 feet of volcanic debris. This discovery of the city on paper was the first move in a 500-year struggle between intellectual curiosity and physical extraction. Physical evidence of the city didn't emerge until the 1590s, when a Swiss architect named Domenico Fontana accidentally tunneled through Pompeii's buried walls while digging a water canal. Behind the dirt, workmen found Roman frescoes clinging to the walls, their red panels decorated with explicit scenes. In the Counter-Reformation, these images were a scandal. Fontana ordered them covered back up, leaving the city in the dark for a century and a half. In the early 1700s, the earth was breached again. A local farmer digging a well struck the marble roof of an ancient theater in the neighboring buried town of Herculaneum. This accidental discovery triggered a hunt for high-value loot. Bourbon King Charles III ordered teams of workmen to drive brute force tunnels through the ash, ripping statues from the ground to decorate his royal palaces. These early expeditions destroyed the surrounding architecture and discarded historical context in favor of whatever marble could be hauled back to the surface for the king's collection. Johann Joachim Winckelmann, a Prussian librarian, visited the site and argued for a different approach. He was the first to document the damage caused by the Bourbon tunneling. Through a series of open letters, Winckelmann insisted that an ancient artifact loses its meaning the moment it is separated from the house or street where it was found. Engineers like Carl Jakob Weber began to record the exact find spots of every object, moving away from random digging to follow a precise, mathematically mapped architectural grid. By the 1860s, Giuseppe Fiorelli shifted the focus to the empty spaces left behind in the ash. He discovered that as organic matter decomposed, it left hollow voids in the shape of whatever had been buried there. Fiorelli injected the voids with liquid plaster. Clearing the ash revealed the victims' body forms, capturing their exact positions during their final moments. These casts made the human past of the eruption unavoidable. The focus of the site shifted from recovering royal art to preserving a monument to a specific tragedy. Modern work at Vesuvius has moved away from traditional digging. Today, the objective is to decode information that was once considered lost forever. This search centers on the Villa of the Papyri in Herculaneum. It houses the only library from the ancient world that we have found in its entirety. The library contains 1,800 papyrus scrolls that survived the eruption, but they were baked into these blackened lumps of charcoal. For generations, scholars tried to physically unroll them, but the carbonized layers were too brittle. Touching them destroyed the text, turning them to dust. Now, through a project called the Vesuvius Challenge, researchers are using X-ray phase contrast tomography to look inside the scrolls without ever touching the charcoal. Computer scientists are training AI to recognize the texture of ancient ink within those scans. This allows us to map the handwriting and read the scrolls virtually. Approximately 1/3 of Pompeii remains unexcavated, kept as a dataset for the next generation of technology. The rediscovery of these cities began with a librarian reading an old map, and it continues today with artificial intelligence reading the ashes.